Hello, viewers! Today on Buzzworld, we're peeling back the layers of one of hip-hop's most enigmatic figures, Sean Diddy Combs. His journey from a street-savvy entrepreneur to a music mogul is legendary, but it's shadowed by a series of controversies that challenge his legacy. Let's dive in. Act 1. The Rise of Diddy. Humble beginnings. Sean Combs, better known as Diddy, was born in Harlem, New York City on November 4th, 1969. His early life was marked by a blend of aspiration and hardship. Raised primarily by his mother, Janice, a former model, Diddy experienced the challenges of single parenthood after the tragic death of his father, Melvin Combs, who was associated with organized crime. This loss occurred when Diddy was just 2 years old, leaving a profound impact on his upbringing. Growing up in a rough neighborhood, he witnessed the struggles of his community, which fueled his desire to succeed and escape the limitations of his environment. From a young age, Diddy displayed an entrepreneurial spirit, selling candy and running a variety of small businesses. He attended Howard University, where he majored in business, but his ambition led him to drop out after 2 years to pursue a career in the music industry. Diddy started as an intern at Uptown Records in the early 1990s, where his knack for talent management and marketing quickly became evident. He was instrumental in the success of artists like Mary J. Blige and Jodeci, showcasing his ability to spot potential and craft hit records. Career milestones. In 1993, Diddy took a monumental step by founding his own label, Bad Boy Entertainment. This move would change the landscape of hip-hop and R&B music forever. Diddy's vision was to create a platform for emerging talent, and he achieved this with the launch of the notorious B.I.G., who became a central figure in hip-hop culture. Diddy and Biggie's partnership was not just a musical collaboration, it was a cultural phenomenon that defined the sound of the 1990s. Their hit albums, including Ready to Die, propelled Diddy into the spotlight, establishing him as a leading figure in the music industry. Diddy's innovative marketing strategies, such as memorable music videos and strategic collaborations, helped him build a brand that extended beyond music. He was a pioneer in merging hip-hop with fashion and lifestyle, launching ventures like Sean John clothing line, and expanded into other businesses, including film production and vodka brands. By the late 1990s, Diddy had solidified his status as a mogul, becoming one of the most recognizable faces in entertainment. His ability to adapt and thrive in a constantly evolving industry set him apart from his peers, paving the way for a multifaceted career that encompassed music, business, and pop culture. Act 2. Mentorship and influence. Usher and Diddy. Diddy's influence in the music industry is profound, particularly through his mentorship of young artists like Usher. When Usher was just starting out, he sought guidance from Diddy, who had already established himself as a formidable force in the industry. Diddy played a significant role in shaping Usher's image and stage presence, teaching him the intricacies of performance and the importance of branding. Usher often credits Diddy for helping him develop his polished stage persona, which would eventually become a hallmark of his career. Under Diddy's mentorship, Usher learned not only the art of music, but also the significance of connecting with an audience, which led to his own meteoric rise in the R&B scene. Justin Bieber's tumultuous years. Justin Bieber's teenage years were marked by a whirlwind of fame, scrutiny, and personal struggles. During this critical time in his life, Diddy emerged as a figure who provided both support and, some allege, enabled certain reckless behaviors. Diddy's involvement in Bieber's life was multifaceted. He acted as a mentor and a protector, guiding him through the challenges of early fame. However, there are reports suggesting that Diddy's influence may have contributed to Bieber's wilder antics, including late-night parties and a lifestyle that often made headlines for the wrong reasons. Before we move on, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our newest videos. You can choose to get notifications for some videos or all of them. If you're using your phone, don't forget to check your settings and enable notifications. Diddy was known for hosting lavish parties, and it is rumored that he included Bieber in some of these high-profile events, exposing him to the fast-paced, extravagant lifestyle that often accompanies celebrity status. While Diddy sought to provide guidance and camaraderie to the young pop star, The environment he cultivated was sometimes criticized for being permissive, allowing Bieber to indulge in behaviors that would later raise eyebrows. The dual nature of Diddy's mentorship, both protective and potentially enabling, underscores the complexities of navigating fame in the music industry. Act 3. The darker side of fame. Personal life speculations. As Diddy's fame skyrocketed, so did the scrutiny surrounding his personal life. Behind the polished public persona of a successful entrepreneur and music mogul, rumors began to surface about the complexity of his private affairs. The whispers about Diddy's sexuality were persistent, with many speculating that his relationships extended far beyond the women he was publicly seen with. His interactions with high-profile figures in the music industry, like Usher and Justin Bieber, fueled gossip that he was involved in secret, intimate relationships with men, further complicating his public image. The rumors of Diddy's sexuality have long haunted him, with some alleging that his relationships with younger male artists were more than just mentorships. Usher, who spent a significant amount of his teenage years living with Diddy, became the subject of relentless speculation. Stories began to circulate about Diddy's wild parties and the questionable nature of what went on behind closed doors, with some sources claiming that these were environments where Diddy could exercise his influence over young men. The blurred lines between mentor and manipulator raised many eyebrows, and questions about what really happened in these so-called mentorships have never fully been answered. In addition, Justin Bieber, another young star who found himself within Diddy's orbit, was also rumored to have been exposed to the same questionable lifestyle. Diddy's role in both Usher and Bieber's careers have been shadowed by these allegations, casting doubt on his true intentions in fostering relationships with these young, impressionable artists. Whether these speculations hold any truth or are simply products of the celebrity rumor mill remains up for debate, but they have undeniably contributed to the more sinister side of Diddy's legacy. Industry relationships. While Diddy's influence on the music industry is unquestionable, there have long been stories about his alleged sexual encounters with other celebrities. Some of these encounters were said to be consensual, while others hint at a more predatory nature. The lines between business, pleasure, and power became dangerously blurred, with many reports suggesting that Diddy used his status and resources to orchestrate sexual encounters not only for himself, but also for others, often wielding these interactions as a means of control. These allegations aren't just limited to men. Many women in the industry have also been rumored to have been involved with Diddy under similar circumstances. But perhaps most disturbing are the stories that suggest Diddy's sexual preferences extended beyond consenting adults. Allegations of inappropriate relationships with minors have surfaced, with claims that he used his wealth and power to lure vulnerable individuals into compromising situations. While these reports remain largely unconfirmed, they paint a disturbing picture of a man who allegedly exploited his position to satisfy his own desires at the expense of others. The escapades. Freak-offs. The term freak-offs refers to Diddy's notorious sex parties, highly secretive gatherings where he allegedly orchestrated elaborate sexual scenarios. These weren't your typical celebrity parties. The events were far darker and more calculated. According to insiders, Diddy would set up these orgiastic environments, not just as a participant, but as a voyeur and puppet master. The parties were said to be a spectacle of power and indulgence, where Diddy could direct the sexual interactions of those around him, bending them to his will. At these gatherings, it was said that Diddy used male and female escorts to perform sexual acts in front of him. Participants, often coerced by alcohol, drugs, and the overwhelming influence of Diddy's celebrity, would engage in increasingly raunchy and sometimes degrading acts, all under his watchful eye. The participants were not always willing, and there are accounts of Diddy manipulating his guests into participating against their better judgment. Those who attended these parties were often terrified to speak out afterward, knowing that Diddy held incriminating information, videos, photos, and other compromising material that could destroy their careers or personal lives if they defied him. These events were more than just about satisfying Diddy's sexual appetites. They were about control. By creating these environments, Diddy could manipulate and exploit those around him, holding their silence as collateral in exchange for their continued cooperation or loyalty. The fear of exposure kept many of his victims in line, and the details of what went on at these freak-offs were buried beneath layers of secrecy and coercion. The infamous white parties. Diddy's white parties, held annually in the Hamptons, were the stuff of legend in the entertainment world. Ostensibly lavish, opulent events, these parties were attended by the most elite figures in Hollywood and the music industry. Everyone from supermodels to actors, from moguls to athletes, donned their finest white attire and gathered at Diddy's estate for a night of excess. However, what appeared to be an innocent celebration of luxury and style had a much darker undertone that emerged after the clock struck 1 a.m. While the early hours of the white parties were marked by high-end dining, champagne, and dancing, the atmosphere shifted dramatically after midnight. Insiders described the post-1 a.m. festivities as something far more sinister, an invitation-only after-party where the real debauchery began. Rumors suggest that these after-hours events were where the power dynamics shifted and the true nature of Diddy's influence came to light. Allegedly, it was during these later hours that the wildest sexual acts occurred, fueled by drugs, alcohol, and Diddy's commanding presence. While no footage of these darker moments has ever surfaced, whispers of what went on behind closed doors, orgies, forced participation in sexual acts, and exploitation of those too afraid to say no, paint a deeply troubling picture. The white parties, once seen as a symbol of status and glamour, have become tainted by the alleged predatory behavior that unfolded long after most of the guests had gone home. Violence and control. With Kim Porter. Diddy's long-term relationship with model Kim Porter was often depicted as one of the most high-profile romances in the entertainment world. However, behind the facade of a glamorous power couple relationship, rumors swirled about the darker side of their union. Although no legal charges were ever pursued, there were whispers of emotional manipulation, controlling behavior, and possibly even physical abuse. The media's spotlight often caught glimpses of tension between the two, but the full extent of their private struggles remains hidden from the public eye. Kim's sudden death in 2018 raised even more questions, with some speculating whether the true nature of their relationship contributed to her untimely passing. Although the official cause was ruled as pneumonia, conspiracy theories abound regarding Diddy's involvement in her death, with some alleging that Kim knew too much about his private affairs. While these theories remain unproven, the rumors only further darken Diddy's already tumultuous legacy. Cassie Ventura incident. Perhaps one of the most damning pieces of evidence against Diddy is the video footage of him physically assaulting his former girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura. In the footage, Diddy is seen grabbing Cassie by the back of her head, throwing her to the ground, and then kicking her. He then violently drags her down a hotel hallway, an image that shocked fans and raised serious concerns about his behavior behind closed doors. The relationship between Diddy and Cassie was marked by accusations of control, with reports suggesting that he dictated nearly every aspect of her life, from her career to her personal relationships. One of the most disturbing allegations is that Diddy forced Cassie to engage in sexual acts with male escorts he hired, all while he recorded the encounters for his personal gratification. These recordings, allegedly made during what were referred to as freak-offs, were later used as a leverage against her, ensuring her silence and continued submission. The emotional and psychological toll of these manipulative tactics was profound, leaving Cassie trapped in a cycle of abuse that she struggled to escape. The mechanism of silence. Diddy's use of power didn't end at physical or emotional control. It extended into the realm of blackmail. Those who were involved in his private freak-offs were allegedly recorded without their knowledge, leaving them vulnerable to exposure. These recordings, some of which reportedly involved highly compromising and humiliating sexual acts, were kept by Diddy as a tool of coercion. If anyone dared to speak out against him, he allegedly threatened to release the footage, effectively silencing them. For many in the industry, this was the price of being within Diddy's orbit. The fear of having their reputations destroyed, their careers derailed, or their private lives exposed kept many of his victims silent for years. Those who resisted Diddy's control were quickly reminded of the consequences, with their livelihoods and personal safety hanging in the balance. As of now, Diddy's legacy is on the brink of collapse. With allegations mounting, he finds himself under suicide watch, sparking eerie comparisons to the fate of Jeffrey Epstein. Act 4. The Fall from Grace. Diddy's arrest and legal proceedings. The arrest of Sean Diddy Combs shocked both the entertainment world and the public, sending ripples through his vast business empire and loyal fan base. The circumstances of his arrest, shrouded in secrecy, have slowly unraveled, though many details of the indictment remain unclear. In March 2024, federal agents raided Diddy's Miami Beach mansion, uncovering a trove of evidence, including firearms, drugs, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. These items were allegedly linked to violent sex parties known as freak-offs, which Diddy reportedly hosted, filmed, and participated in. These findings were part of a broader federal investigation into sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution. Agents also conducted a raid on his Los Angeles properties, expanding the scope of evidence against him. Diddy was arrested on September 16, 2024, at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York, where he had been staying for several weeks. He was transported under heavy security to the Metropolitan Detention Center, or MDC, in New York City, where he is currently being held while awaiting trial. Details of the March 2024 raid. During the raid on Diddy's Miami Beach mansion, federal agents discovered an array of evidence supporting allegations of sex trafficking and other criminal activities. Among the items seized were weapons and ammunition, 3 AR-15s with scratched-off serial numbers, and a drum magazine. Drugs, narcotics, and other controlled substances. Baby oil and lubricant. Over 1,000 bottles were found, allegedly used during the freak-off parties. Sex toys and bondage gear. Discovered in rooms specifically dedicated to sex, suggesting the nature of these events. Hidden cameras. Found in the sex rooms, which may have been used to record these parties without the participants' knowledge. This raid, part of a larger investigation into sex trafficking, sexual assault, and the illegal distribution of narcotics and firearms, has significantly bolstered the case against Diddy. The investigation is being led by prosecutors from the Southern District of New York in conjunction with Homeland Security. The raid occurred shortly after a series of lawsuits were filed against Diddy, including one from his former girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie, who accused him of years of sexual abuse. Diddy has vehemently denied all of these allegations. Crucial evidence against Diddy. A significant development in the case came when a male sex worker stepped forward, alleging that Diddy flew him cross-country to attend one of his notorious freak-off parties. The male escort, who admitted to working as a gigolo, testified that Diddy invited him to participate in these events. This testimony has laid the groundwork for additional charges in the multi-agency investigations, led by the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security. Diddy's legal team responded to these allegations, stating he cannot address every meritless allegation in what has become a reckless media circus. That said, Mr. Combs emphatically and categorically denies as false and defamatory any claim that he sexually abused anyone, including minors. His lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, added in court that while Combs was not a perfect person and had experienced toxic relationships and drug use, the truth will be established based on evidence, not speculation. Legal expert analysis. Potential outcomes. Legal analysts believe that the outcome of Diddy's trial hinges on the strength of the evidence, particularly witness testimony and any incriminating recordings that have surfaced. If prosecutors can corroborate victim testimonies with physical evidence, such as videos or documents, the likelihood of a guilty verdict increases. Notably, the case could set a precedent for how celebrities accused of similar crimes in the future are treated in the eyes of the law. According to legal experts, Diddy faces several potential outcomes. If found guilty on multiple counts, he could receive a lengthy prison sentence, possibly even life imprisonment, depending on the severity of the charges and the sentencing guidelines. Financial restitution for the victims is also on the table, which could further decimate his already precarious financial situation. However, if his defense team manages to cast doubt on the credibility of witnesses or challenges the admissibility of key evidence, Diddy could face reduced charges or even an acquittal on some counts. Legal experts emphasize that his case is complex and no outcome is guaranteed. Celebrity and fan reactions. Diddy's arrest has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, with numerous celebrities choosing to distance themselves from the embattled music mogul. High-profile figures such as Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and even some artists that Diddy has mentored, like French Montana and Mary J. Blige, have remained notably silent. Notably, several celebrities, including Usher and DJ Khaled, have deactivated or scrubbed their social media profiles to avoid being associated with the scandal. The public nature of Diddy's legal issues, coupled with the gravity of the allegations, has caused some to erase any trace of their past relationships with him. Social media has been flooded with a mix of disbelief, outrage, and support. While a portion of his fan base remains loyal, proclaiming his innocence, others have condemned him, calling for justice for the alleged victims. The divide in opinion mirrors the wider cultural conversation about accountability and power in the entertainment industry, as some fans rally behind the #CancelDiddy movement. On the other hand, a small group of industry leaders, like Kanye West, have voiced sympathy for the rapper, suggesting that he is being targeted in a larger conspiracy, although such theories remain largely unsupported. Among those commenting on the situation, 50 Cent called Diddy's arrest sad and shocking. He also remarked, "People will sit there and watch people do things that could be immoral, but until they get caught, no one says anything." Financial fallout and brand impact. Diddy's arrest has had immediate financial consequences. Brands and business partners that once proudly associated themselves with him have severed ties, seeking to protect their reputations. Major companies like Ciroc Vodka and Sean John, the clothing line he founded, have distanced themselves, with Ciroc reportedly halting all future collaborations. Some investment partners in his various ventures have pulled out, unwilling to be linked to his now tainted name. With mounting legal fees, loss of business, and the potential for massive financial restitution to victims if found guilty, Diddy's empire is on the verge of collapse. Industry insiders estimate that he has already lost millions of dollars in endorsements and partnerships. As the trial progresses, the financial bleeding is expected to worsen, raising questions about whether he can recover any semblance of the wealth and influence he once enjoyed. The horrors of the Metropolitan Detention Center, or MDC. Since his arrest, Diddy has been held at the Metropolitan Detention Center, one of the most notoriously inhumane prisons in the United States. The facility, which houses both high-profile inmates and violent criminals, has long been criticized for its deplorable conditions. Reports from inside the MDC describe rampant violence, severe staff shortages, medical neglect, and a drug smuggling problem allegedly facilitated by some employees. Inmates are subjected to freezing temperatures, broken cells, and crumbling infrastructure. Concrete has been known to fall from the ceiling, posing serious safety risks. Judges have even refused to send additional prisoners to the MDC due to its deteriorating conditions. Recently, 4 federal judges publicly criticized the facility, citing its inability to meet even the most basic standards of human decency. Reports of unsanitary living conditions are also rampant, with rats infesting the prison and maggots allegedly being found in prisoners' food. These conditions are believed to contribute to the high rates of prisoner deaths, suicides, and homicides within the facility. For Diddy, who has gone from residing in a $48 million mansion to one of the most notorious prisons in the U.S., the contrast is a sobering one. Diddy's mental state. A psychologist's perspective. The stark transition from a life of immense wealth and luxury to the grim conditions of the MDC is undoubtedly taking a toll on Diddy's mental state. A prominent psychiatrist, Dr. Evelyn Morris, has suggested that individuals in Diddy's position may experience severe psychological distress. She highlights that the sudden loss of freedom, compounded by the inhumane living conditions, can trigger anxiety, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. Moreover, the pressure of facing public disgrace, financial ruin, and the possibility of a long-term prison sentence may exacerbate existing mental health challenges. Dr. Morse explains that Diddy's history of high-pressure business deals and his tightly controlled public image could lead to severe identity crises, feelings of hopelessness, and paranoia, especially when removed from his carefully curated environment. Some reports suggest that Diddy has been placed under suicide watch. further intensifying concerns about his emotional and psychological well-being. It is also worth considering the broader mental health implications of being publicly accused of such heinous crimes. According to forensic psychologist Dr. Michael Lawson, high-profile figures like Diddy often experience what is known as celebrity fall syndrome, where their self-perception collapses alongside their public persona. The weight of public opinion, combined with the grim legal battle ahead, could have lasting effects on his psychological health. Sean Diddy Combs is undeniably a titan in the music industry, but his narrative is fraught with contradictions. His story forces us to question the price of fame and the ethical lines crossed in its pursuit. What do you think Diddy's lasting impact on the industry will be? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. How should history remember Diddy? Let's discuss. And if you'd like to explore more intriguing content, click on one of the videos appearing on the screen now to continue your journey with us.